Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Anime Podcast channel. My name is Benji, and today we're gonna talk about chapter 1029, The Tower of One Piece. And we are going to be talking about some packs, baby. Let's get it. Now, without any further ado, let's just hop right into the chapter. So we start with a cover page of Bonnie, one of the worst generation pirates among Kid, Luffy, Law, the other few. And basically she's in a soba eating contest with a bunch of sea otters. Now, as far as, I think this is a cover request, but I'm not too sure about it, but there's that. But continuing back to the Sanji and Queen fight, basically everyone is shocked after what happened in last chapter. So, if you guys remember, Queen actually strikes Sanji with a huge sword, but the sword completely shatters. Now, people who are watching are, kind of, speculating whether it's armament haki or something else. But Queen reiterates that this isn't the work of haki, but this power fits the description of Judge's perfect human. Someone with advanced strength, healing factor, as well as durability and dexterity. But most importantly, absent of emotions. And then, the funny thing is we see this adorable panel of Chopper, and he's amazed by the fact that Sanji was able to break the sword with his bare neck. And he, like I said, he's still shrunken from the effects of his, I believe it was the pill that he took, one of the beast pills, in order for him to fight Queen beforehand, earlier on in Wano. But I don't know, Chopper, just looks cute as a little baby, so. We get this very vivid panel of Sanji distraught from the fact that there's a possibility of Sanji becoming a monster just like his brothers, where they're, they have all these enhancements, yet they're very absent of their emotions or who they care about, morale, all of that. So Sanji runs away because at this time he needs to process everything that's happening right now. Now, some fodder beast pirates decide that there's a perfect opportunity to go ahead and shoot Sanji. And here's the thing, the bullets deflect off of Sanji. But Sanji does say that hurts. But just the fact, and now first when I was reading, I was thinking they were like rocks that they were throwing at him. But they were gunshots. They were shooting at this nigga. So I feel like the fact of the matter is, I think Oda's kind of doubling down that, Sanji's powers are actually kicking in. Now, whether it's from the raid or not, we'll have to see later on. Queen yells and says, why are you running?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Why are you running? But seriously, he yells back and he wants to see Sanji in his raid suit, as well as see more of what Germa has to offer. At this point in the story, and then like we do a cut a little bit later on, but I do want to talk about a couple. Like, this kind of makes sense for Sanji's character. I feel like, being able to hopefully, obtain these powers that, Germa, as well as all the technology that Judge was able to come up with, and utilize that within Sanji, yet to still maintain his emotions, his humanity, or his morale, and a lot of the aspects of it. I feel like that's really nice to see. Now, obviously, this doubles down that Judge was wrong about Sanji, as well as him being a failure and this, that, and the third. Well, because at the end of the day, Judge would be eating his words, because you can have somebody who is the ultimate weapon or an ultimate combat weapon in that kind of sense, but still maintain their humanity in a lot of the sense of the word. So I don't know, I really like that concept, and I want to see what Oda does, because I feel like Sanji has a lot of potential to go a lot of ways from here on out in the story. Now, I do have a slight prediction. It wouldn't be too far-fetched if Sanji actually goes back to Judge after Wano, trains or something like that, or kind of learns a little bit more about his powers or how things are gonna go. But other than that, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of ways that Sanji's character can go from here. Since we've seen, in Whole Cake, Sanji has always stayed really true to what he deems, his code of honor. Now, as of right now, he'll be a direct contradiction of the things that he never wanted to happen in the first place. So Sanji, as of right now in the story, is, carrying this burden that he never asked for. But at the end of the day, will he, So later on, will Sanji actually use these powers in order to help the crew themselves, or will he continue to resent himself and reject himself? Because literally, he's a walking contradiction of what he wants to be in life. So I don't know, very interesting. So we move on to the fight between Big Mom versus Law and Kid, and right now, Big Mom is busting that ass. Yeah, Kid and Law are not in good shape. Law is telling Kid to stop being dead weight because right now Kid is like under a lot of distress, and basically he's out of commission. So Law is kind of fighting Big Mom himself as right now. But then we get a panel of Law attacking Big Mom right before she finishes Kid, using a shambles, his shambles technique. Shambles. And then Prometheus, one of Big Mom's homies, actually steps in and says, "You better not hit Big Mom," and lights this nigga on fire. Like now the way the panel showed, it looked like Law had have taken a lot of damage because it looked like he was engulfed in flames. But I'd like to kind of see a little bit later on in the next chapter how Law kind of gets back, but I don't know, we'll see. So basically Big Mom proceeds with her attack that she was doing before, and it doesn't KO both Law and Kid, but she does pretty seem satisfied with what she just did. So there's that. But then we get Kid, and this is actually really good for Kid's development later on in the story, especially like leading up to the final parts of Wano as of right now. Now Kid kind of reiterates that, you know, there's something wrong that he can't explain, and he feels like this opportunity is slipping away from him in order to take down one of the biggest pirates within One Piece, one of the Yonkos, Big Mom. And this, I believe Oda is kind of making this kind of self-aware that Kid, like, you know, within the One Piece community hasn't had any kind of feats whatsoever. All we can know is that he's taken a huge amount of L's before this, with his arm getting cut off by the red-haired pirates, as well as him being in jail once we actually meet him in Wano, as well as the situation that happened with Killer. But we'll get into that a little bit later on. But the way Kid kind of situates himself, I really feel like Oda has kind of made it self-aware that I know Kid has taken a lot of damage or a lot of L's in the series, but I think at this moment in time, it's like a sneak peek to what he's capable of in the series. So I don't know. We'll see if Kid and Law. I feel like it has to be a tag team. If they both defeat Big Mom, that's gonna be something huge. I don't necessarily know if Law and Kid will be Yonko level at that point in time, but I do want to see, especially after this channel. I mean, after this chapter, I do want to see after this chapter what Kid's bounty is at the end of this arc. So I do want to see that. So then we cut to Hawkins, and he is bashing his head into a column, and Killer is basically pleading him to stop. Now, if you guys remember, Hawkins has taken control of Kid, so basically all the pain that Hawkins feels, he doesn't feel himself. It's all relayed back to Kid. Killer is pleading with Hawkins to stop, and Hawkins kind of laughs it off, and he laughs at the fact that Killer actually ate a smile fruit. And to be honest, the smile fruits themselves has to be one of the darker things for myself personally in One Piece. Like, just the thought of when you're grieving, you just start to smile and laugh. Like, that shit just, I don't know, that shit kind of like rubs me the wrong way. That's pretty dark, I feel like, me personally. Now, with this being said, with the thing that just Hawkins just actually reiterated to Killer about the smile fruit, this confirms 100% in One Piece that Hawkins is a bitch ass nigga. Now, the reason I say this is, one, he folded. Two, I mean, he's on the wrong side right now. And three, he has no self-respect. But that's Hawkins. But I do want you guys to wait a little bit, because at the end of this chapter, we're going to see a pack. A smooth pack. Just bear with me for a second. Now, Killer subordinates are asking, can they help? But they're kind of oblivious to the fact that Hawkins is actually controlling Kid at the moment. So, but Killer is kind of just telling them, hey, you know, you guys shut up, you know, let me handle this, because this is the only way that I can beat him. So Hawkins then says this: you can always cut me down with those scythes if you're sick of me. I don't mind if you surrender. I'll even put a good word in for Kaido for you. Your side has no chance of winning this battle. You already know that's the truth, don't you? The reason their dominance overseas has lasted so long is obvious to anyone who has laid eyes on them. They cannot be beaten. Killer lets it be known that everyone who are on their side, that includes Luffy, the samurai, everyone who's on the side opposite of the Yonkos, Big Mom and Kaido, all of them are going up against impossible odds. Yes, they choose to fight, but Hawkins as well as Apu have proverbially pissed themselves, basically according to Killer. Basically, they've relinquished themselves from all of the fight that they ever had, and they simply side with the enemy. And then here we go. So Killer has 2 questions. Now, the first question is, what happens if you take damage that has nowhere else to go? And Hawkins kind of brushes it off. I think he says a couple other things, but he's basically like, yeah, whatever. I don't know what you're talking about. And then we see pack time, baby. Oda, big shout out to Oda this week because the art in this chapter was crispy. But basically we see this super dope. Killer has like this acrobatic move while he's facing and he slices off Hawkins' arm. We see the blood, everything. Hawkins screams. The panel is gorgeous. And then he asks question 2. If I remove this doll that he's holding in his hand at the time, how many lives do you have now? Hawkins congratulates Killer on fighting the last doll. But in his mind, Hawkins is kind of worried because this isn't what he predicted in the first place. So Hawkins, you know, he's the mastermind with the Toro cards, pulls out an Annihilation card. And basically it's his straw man that we see earlier on in Wano. Basically he tries to attack Killer, and Killer handles this man so easily. Now here's the thing, and I don't necessarily know about power scaling, but I feel like Killer at this moment, Killer is very strong. I think a lot of people don't take that into account, but Killer definitely is strong. I want to say he's on par with a Zoro. I don't think he can take on any of the calamities like the 3 main subordinates under Kaido. That's King, Queen, as well as Jack. But Killer's very strong, so y'all gotta stop sleeping. So Hawkins says that his straw man can't die because it's determined by fate of the cards that he actually draws. So Hawkins pulls out a tower card and he's completely shook. And the reason he's shook is we find out a little bit later on in the chapter. Watch this. So again, we see Killer supply that well-needed pack on Hawkins. Basically slices this nigga up like a grapefruit. He uses a song blade technique that was pretty dope. I don't think song. Now we'll see in the official translations whether it kind of translates. But song blade seems pretty dope. But basically at this point, Hawkins is laid out, got 2 big scars across his chest. He's a pack, so we can all smoke that pack, my guys. So then we see what the tower card actually represents. Watch this. The tower card signifies great change. An upheaval of the established order. Its hidden meaning indicates the opening of a new path. Now, I think this was put in place specifically by Oda, that the tides of the battle are working in motion and things are going to start changing. We see this beautiful panel of basically Kid just licking his lips, and he said, and basically Big Mom kind of asked him, "Oh, so you feel better now?" And Kid's like, "Yeah, never felt better." Which is so fire, because I'm ready to see what Kid has in his bag. Like I said, we haven't really seen new techniques from Kid just yet, but I'm very excited to see that. But then we finish off the chapter with Killer basically like saying out loud, he says, "Go get him, partner." And basically he's telling Kid that he can finally take on one of the biggest Yonkos in the seas. He can finally have his name etched as one of the greatest pirates in the seas if he does get this defeat. There's no break next week, so I'm very blessed. But as far as the chapter goes, I'm very excited to see how things kind of correlate. Like I said, I'm very interested to see the Sanji stuff. I do want to get back to the Luffy Kaido fight, see how that's going, as well as certain other like implementations. Now, I know Mr. Morge, big shout out to him, the GOAT. Basically, I know he was saying that there's a possibility that the raid may fail. I think with this chapter, it kind of indicates that I don't think that's going to happen. It's seeming more and more that these are the final moves of the players in Wano. What does that mean? I feel like Zoro's going to win, Luffy's going to win, Sanji's going to win, and at one time, we're going to see a huge power shift in all of One Piece. We're going to see Kaido as well as Big Mom, 2 of the biggest and strongest pirates within all of the seas, be taken out at the same time in the same battle. That's going to create a huge stir within the One Piece verse, and I'm very excited. Now, with that being said, let me know what you thought about the chapter. Like I said, I'm going to try to do streams. Go ahead and join our Discord. We talk One Piece all the time. Every time there's a new chapter, we make sure that we discuss it. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as our Twitter, our Instagram, all the social medias, TikTok, all of that. And with that being said, I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace.